Hello and welcome to the Motion Attributes Property Panel tutorial. The Motion Attributes Property Panel is found by right-clicking on any of the Motion Attributes icons. Here you will learn how to further control motion vectors in your simulations. The Motion Attributes Properties panel covers settings for motion, rotation, and fixation points. You can use this panel for entering numerical values for motion rather than using the arrows. Here's a breakdown of each setting. Directional speed works with the initial motion vector. Directional speed shows the initial speed that the object will start at. Think of this as miles per hour, but change the speed into units per second. See how the arrow updates in real time when I change a numerical value? This is a way of adjusting the speed without having to grab the arrow. It is important to note that changing the scene's units of measurement will affect the speed. For instance, changing the scene's units from feet to meters will result in less acceleration. Rotation speed is for the initial rotation vector. The setting shows how many radians, or so many degrees, the object will make in 1 second. A setting of 6.2 will make the object do a complete revolution. Remember, this only shows the initial speed. Direct acceleration is for the acceleration motion vector. The numeric value shows the consistent speed that an object will travel at during the simulation. Again, the numerical value represents the number of units the object will travel per second. Rotation acceleration works with the acceleration rotation vector. The numerical value shows the consistent speed that an object will rotate at during the simulation. Again, the numerical value represents the number of radians the object will make per second. The initialization speed's rotate with object button is for having the rotational effect rotate with the object while editing. Here's an example. When this option is disabled, the object can freely rotate without affecting the rotation speed or direction. When enabled, both the object and rotation will move together. Acceleration speed's rotate with object button is for choosing whether the motion vectors will follow the object's rotation as it moves, or if it stays pointing in its initial starting direction. Here's an example. If this option is enabled, the accelerated speed value will rotate with the object. Whatever direction the object rotates to during the simulation, the speed value will follow. Think of this as an engine that always pushes in the direction that it's facing. If it falls down on its face, it will want to keep traveling downward. When this option is disabled, the object's rotation does not affect the direction of the accelerated speed. It will keep traveling in the direction that it was initially set up to. One quick note here. The accelerated speed value can be keyframed to change direction during the simulation. This is covered in the motion attributes video. This setting works with both direction and rotation. The Move Fixation Points with Objects button works like this. If you have fixation points attached to an object, activating this button will move the points with the object when it's moved around the scene. When it's shut off, the object can be repositioned without moving the points themselves. Here's an example. With this option enabled, the fixation point is moving with the object as it's repositioned around the scene. With this option disabled, the fixation point stays in place while the object is allowed to freely move around the scene. And that covers the Motion Attributes Properties panel. It's also worth mentioning that these options can be hotkeyed to help speed up your workflow.